on the House Armed Services, China Select, and Homeland Security committees. Congressman, thank you for being here on this Christmas Eve. A happy and merry to you and yours. I want to start off. Yes, Merry Christmas. I want to start off with first this call for just give people the numbers. 698,000 encounters so far in the fiscal year 2024, which has just begun on our southern border. 214,000 encounters in December. That is set to be the highest. It's on pace to being a record December. When you hear that the Biden administration is going to have talks with Mexico, and the president of Mexico says, I'll help you with the border, but only if you give more aid to Cuba and Venezuela, and only if you open talks with Cuba. What do you make of the president of Mexico setting the terms of this conversation? And what do you think the United States should be demanding of Mexico right now?
I think, look, if I was there, I would go to the Mexican president and say, hey, look, we're going to shut the border down. You have a problem with immigration. You're allowing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to come into your country. It's your problem, and now it's going to be your problem, not going to be my problem. The second thing I'd say is, hey, those international cartels that are making billions of dollars off of human trafficking, they're also sending fentanyl here that's killing over about 100,000 Americans. You have about a week to take care of it, or we're going to take care of it. You know, if we just close the border and we shut it down, and now it becomes Mexico's problem, you'll see how fast Mexico is going to solve their border problem. But this administration doesn't want to do that. They're going to go down there and say, hey, would you please... could you guys please help us out? And Blinken may take out his secret weapon, which is he'll take out a pretty please. Could you pretty please, help us out here? Where in fact, we have the power to take care of this border situation here in the United States. You know,
a couple of border crossings were closed because Border Patrol had to send resources to deal with this enormous amount of people that are coming across. It's something like 200 illegal immigrants for every one Border Patrol agent. They had to close 2 rail crossings. Lukeville, Arizona, their entry port is closed. We talk a big game about closing the border, but doesn't that hurt business here in the United States? Can you do both?
I'm not saying closing the border to legal business and business transaction between United States and Mexico. What I'm saying, close the border to illegal immigration, and we can't do that. Look, the law says if you're seeking asylum here in the United States, there's 2 things that happen. There's 2 ways you can do it. One, you remain in a third country. Well, Mexico is a third country, and the second one is you're detained in the United States. That the Biden administration is not following the law, and that's why we have hundreds of thousands coming through the border. It's on purpose. They want to have this immigration, and so I doubt that it's a great show that Mayorkas and Blinken are going to go to Mexico. Nothing is going to come of it. There'll be some nice explanation. Hey, look what we got done, and at the end, when you really look at what got done, nothing's going to get done, right, because this administration wants us to continue.
Bill Malugin, our reporter that's been on the border, has sent out these 2 photos. The first photo shows a TSA security line at the Tucson airport for migrants that are caught at the border, and it says non-U.S. citizens without passports only enter here. They're sending these folks all around the country on airplanes. And then the second photo is a saw that was caught. 3 men were using this saw to cut through the border wall. It just illustrates the crisis down there. I wanted to ask you about what can be done on the congressional front. The Senate is negotiating a bill right now. Where's the red line for you, Congressman? Do you think the House, run by Republicans right now, would accept a bill from the Senate that does not have, for instance, remain in Mexico, the Trump-era policy? Where's the red line here?
No, I don't. I don't think that we will. I don't think that we should. But again, look, the Senate can negotiate anything they want. We can negotiate anything with this administration. But this administration just wants the law. They're going to do what they want. And so they can say, hey, yeah, we're going to do this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, they will not do it. They want this. They want this crisis at the border. They want this mass immigration to come into the United States. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but you can't be this dumb. We know exactly what we have to do to stop it. They refuse to do it. That to me tells me it's on purpose. They have a reason. We have yet to figure it out.
So you're not hopeful at all that Congress can pass a bill here for tougher immigration reform and more border security?
We can pass whatever we want, man. Okay? The administration is not going to do it. Look, the law is pretty clear right now. It says if you're coming into the United States and you're seeking asylum, until you get your hearing, you will either stay in a third country or you will be detained. That's what the law says. Right. All right. So the Biden administration chooses not to follow. That's what Trump did. That's what Remain in Mexico was all about. Right. And you know what? It stopped the crisis. But as soon as Biden became the president, he threw all those things out that were working. And now we've got what we've got. And he wants it to continue, unless, of course, it's going to cost him politically. And then they'll change their tune.
Quickly here, what do you make of the White House's response to Iran? We've had more attacks from the Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. They're continuing to attack our bases in Syria and Iraq in terms of Iran proxies. What do you make of the White House so far not going on the offensive?
I mean, look, this is what this is what Biden has done all his career as a senator, vice president, et cetera. He is very weak on foreign policy. He thinks that he wants to negotiate with everybody. He wants somehow to negotiate with Iran. He hasn't figured out yet. I mean, he's a pretty old guy, but and he hasn't figured this out yet. That the only way you negotiate with people like this is through strength. That's the only thing that they understand. If you don't, react with strength and you don't react in kind, then they're just going to run all over you. And so the Houthis keep firing these missiles into the Red Sea, and nothing happens to them. We shoot down some, but there's no downside to what the Houthis are doing now because the United States is not doing anything about it. And by the way, the world in general is not doing anything about it. And so we need to get our allies on board too and take some action against the Houthis.
Yeah, the Pentagon says they're going to have a multinational naval force there to try to protect shipments throughout the Red Sea. We'll see what that does. But Florida Congressman Carlos Gimenez, Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here.